Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, and followers. Dustin here with Dustin's Dynasty again this week. It's been a very good week, very progressive, very educational, very award-winning, as opposed to last week when I did get my award, and then there was just more recognition this week. But as you know, I'm not always about the recognition. Um, but that's another video, and I will have a little bit about gratitude this week. But today this video specifically, I want to talk about the foundation of mental health recovery. And as many know, or may not know, that autism, or ASD, any autism spectrum disorder, and mental health often coincide with individuals on the spectrum. It's autism we know is a neurological condition. It's not necessarily, although it is on the DSM-5, and it was on the DSM-4 when I had it many years ago. It is still considered a neurological condition. It is not a mental health diagnosis. So you can have other mental health diagnoses in addition to autism, and they often coincide. With that, what we are here, what I am in, I consider I have I have some mental health diagnoses, as many do, but and I'm not going to share what those are specifically, but they do involve the usage of medication, and that is what I've been told, or what I've been trained now. I've not been trained specifically, but what I've been instilled in my mind, because I've been having additional services come into the home, not come into the house specifically, but on my computer here. That is the foundation to a mental health recovery. And when I say mental health recovery, it's kind of like a substance use recovery, or or a recovery from any other issue, any other kind of addiction or anything like that, or any 12-step. But it's basically, your recovery is an ongoing journey. And by the person that used to run this program years ago, they always quoted it as being that recovery is possible, probable, and likely. And I've always said that to individuals, that recovery is possible, and anybody that I run into in my day program, or in at work, or out in the field working, what have you, I always tell them that recovery is possible and probable and likely in each and every one of them, and that's a good thing. And if anybody can, from me, sitting in an RTF 20 years ago, exactly 20 years ago this year, and can grow off of that, Um, Now I've been in recovery for a long time for mental health. Like I said, I've had a lot of behaviors at the age of 14, 15, and I was, and I got treated for them, and I got my medication. But as I grew into an adult, they don't go away like autism doesn't like autism doesn't go away. It also, the mental health condition doesn't go away. This is a lifelong thing. I realized, I was a very thin person at the time, and I realized I'm going to be taking these medications for the remainder of my life. More than likely, they've been proven to be 20 or so years before I started taking them. So I proved that it's going to be a while, and I've been on them 20 years, and it's going to be part of that life. Um, but it is of one's it's just, I understand. I'm viewed out there in the community as an example, and as somebody who they look up to for advice, and that can go to work and be the example of what recovery looks like. And I do have an award. I have a leadership and recovery award from the local managed care organization. So for our county. So I'm really well respected in the field and in the sources. And that's another video I'm going to bring. I'm going to bring it up also in another video today that I'm going to do. But for right now, I just want you to focus on that. Um, Now, I want to say that, I understand that medicine is not for everyone. And, sometimes you can be over or under medicated, and that's okay. It's everybody's thing. But sometimes for individuals such as myself, it's a necessary evil for daily living. And why do I say that? It's because I've known how I acted without them. I'm totally not myself. I'm totally off. I'm totally sleepy. I'm just all over the place. I'm not myself. just not myself at all. And that's just the honest to God truth. That's the best way I think you can sum it up. Is I'm all over the place. I'm verbally aggressive. I'm just not. And I may have done another video on this, but I want to focus on the foundation of a mental health recovery and how important it is. Additionally, it is the foundation of what it is built on. You need to be well in the mind and in the mindset. You really got to work up here, people, and you just gotta, work with it. And so, you just, I don't know, you just gotta work with it, and that's the thing. It just got to become, it got to become nature. And, taking that medicine got to become nature, not missing those doses, so on and so forth, making sure that your medicine is here on a proper day and that you have enough to fulfill the pill containers because, you forget to fill the pill containers and so on and so forth. But, I learned, to get me where I was on the perfect cocktail when I was probably close to 16. So, almost 20 years ago. Like I said, this time 20 years ago, I was in an RTF. Before that, I had 4 or 5 hospitalizations within the course of a year in a youth psychiatric hospital. And that was the first time I think I was ever away from anybody that I knew. I was 14 years old. The first time was in 302, and that involved ambulance transport and being in an emergency room, nearing restraints, and I caution if it's a trigger warning, but I'll put it's just it was very rough for me, and that whole year was very rough. It was in and out of school, in and out. I was sent home from school for the rest of the year. I ended up in a hospital. I spent my 15th birthday in the hospital. It was a long year. I never hardly saw my parents. So that winter the same winter 20 years ago, I was in a residential treatment facility, about that my mother found 28 miles from my house, and it was for her finding it and not the county finding it and sending me to a land far away. So I think it's just my mom did a due diligence thing on that, so it was good. Um, so with that, when I got out, I got on a nice cocktail. I was on 2 or 3 meds that adjusted, later on, over, but about the same for about 15 years now. And I know when I don't have them, I know I'm not well. And when I was independent in the 2 chapters ago, when I was over at the other apartment, I was very. I didn't think I needed them. I think I thought they were just so crazy and so but then I realized, that, I relapsed to a great degree. I wasn't myself. I was in the moods swings. I was, experiencing what, I was doing. Just, wasn't well. Wasn't real, wasn't verbally aggressive, couldn't do things, wasn't myself, was very loud, was very boisterous. So technically, I was not myself. I relapsed. So part of that was I had to get hooked up with somebody else. Also to come in and work with me. And this gentleman, he worked with many things, but he also instituted me into what was a wellness recovery action plan. And that is like my log of what I'm feeling when I am well and what I'm feeling when I'm not well. And there's 20 different steps. If you have a system, if you are living in Pennsylvania, many counties have a network of care website, and you can find that through your local behavioral health office if you're in Pennsylvania. And you can create a wrap online, and there's videos and stuff. But if you want to look at the mental health wellness recovery action plan, I encourage you to visit mentalhealthrecovery.com, and that will tell you, what the person that created Dr. Mary Ellen Copeland. I must give her credit. You can look at it, and she'll explain every step by step. And I was just so I did create that, and I did learn as I went. What's working, what's not. What do I want? Who's gonna take care of me? Things like that. So for a long time, and I finally, it took till last year, and I think I may have brought this up in another video, but it took until I was out of that apartment situation, and I was living with my parents, and I was going, 3, 4, sometimes 5 days without medication, and and you could tell because I was out of rage and throwing fits and screaming and yelling at my parents. Not to mention we were already under a coronavirus pandemic this past year, and it was scary stuff. I never, I got violent with my parents, and maybe it was because I was under the vacuum of my parents, but you just get in them fits and you just get wild. So for a long time, I had always thought, I took the medicine because people told me to, but it was really finally this week that I realized, through a lot of reading and a lot of looking back at that stuff through my timelines and stuff on Facebook, that I had an epiphany that I need to take it, and it's a building block. And I had a conversation with my mobile psych specialist yesterday, and it's just a foundation. It's a must do. I must do it, and that's what it's gonna be. And I know I gain weight from it. It's just part of life. So, I have to be careful with the weight thing, and I understand that. So, it's just something. Medication's a thing. It's a foundation of the mental health recovery, whether you're autistic or not. Medication should not be mixed without talking to a clinical health provider or a prescriber or a prescribing extender. Just you need to just reach out and do that. So with that, I know that was a lot of the spill, but I felt I had to get that off my chest. So with that, like, follow, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and always at Dustin'sDynastyUSA.com and Dustin's Dynasty on my social media handles. Thank you, and have a good night.